evening, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, there is little good about this evening. As a woman and a mother, it pains me to bring to you two stories of human depravity and systemic betrayal of women, even children. Like me, today, India is enraged. And this anger and anguish has poured out onto the streets. In Kolkata, a young doctor with a promising career was ravaged in life by a fiend. And then she was betrayed in death by the state and the system. In Badlapur, two nursery children, one was 3 years old, the other was 4 years old, were sexually abused allegedly by a school attendant. One brutality was in a hospital, the other in a school. But both show how girls are made victims of the ingrained patriarchy. This is regardless of which party is in power or which side of the ideological divide they stand in. Today, we as a nation have pledged to fight back and demand never again. Never again. In fact, the Chief Justice of India took cognizance of the Kolkata rape and murder case and lashed out at the systemic failure. He asked why the name of the victim and her photographs was splashed across social media. Why was there a delay in filing an FIR? Why a case was not filed for murder? Why was it only an unnatural death? Why did the principal try to pass it off as a suicide? And why was he reinstated in another college? And why couldn't the police protect the crime scene? The Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, called it a national catharsis moment. But the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, called it a distraction. Is rape a distraction? Are 16 injuries on the victim a distraction? Is evidence tampering a distraction? Watch how Mamata Banerjee's alliance partner tries to give her cover fire.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने डॉक्टर से कहा अपने स्ट्राइक एंड करने एज लोग भी
नहीं देखिए भैया मैं यहाँ इस मामले में आया हूँ अब मैं जानता हूँ कि आप इस मामले को उठवाना नहीं चाहते हो आप डिस्ट्रैक्ट कराना चाहते हो
He was visiting Raebareli, his own constituency, and he has full right to do so. After all, a Dalit youth was killed there in an altercation with his own friends. But Rahul Gandhi called Bengal horror a distraction when he was asked a question by journalists and blamed the journalists and the media instead that they did not want to cover the issue of the Dalit killing in Raebareli. And this on a day when protests against the murder of the Dalit youth was going on. Listen in to how in his earlier attempts, everything was brought in together. But crimes against women in an opposition-ruled state is a distraction. They will remember Hathras, they will remember Unnao, Kathua, everything. But Bengal is a distraction. And let's remind you about his selectivity. Listen in.
अब नया नारा देंगे मोदी जी पहले था बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ अब नया नारा है सिर्फ बेटी बचाओ और ये काम किससे बचाओ बीजेपी से बचाओ बीजेपी के एमएलए से बचाओ जो अपराध करता है उसके खिलाफ कुछ नहीं होता और जो मारा जाता है कुचला जाता है दबाया जाता है उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई यहाँ पे सब पार्टी के लोग खड़े हैं मेरा सिर्फ ये कहना है कि देश में जो हालत है जो महिलाओं के खिलाफ अत्याचार हो रहा है सरकार को उसके बारे में कुछ करना चाहिए
I'm not questioning Rahul Gandhi's right to raise the issues of Hathras, Unnao, or even Kathua. My question is the selectivity. While Rahul Gandhi is focused on crimes in BJP-ruled states, watch these visuals on your screens. An ASI running away from accountability, a telling image from Kolkata. This ASI rank police officer, Anup Datta, who shared his room with prime accused Sanjoy Roy when he was summoned by the CBI, actually ran away. The media asked him about his closeness with Sanjoy Roy, but he ran, he sprinted. Watch this. And why? Why should questions not be asked about the fact that is there a cover-up by the police? Because there was an ASI who was giving protection and sharing a room with this volunteer on the campus. Listen in. Now watch how the Trinamool Congress gave excuses for the lapses, while Uddhav Thackeray, also Mamata's alliance partner, only wants to drag in Maharashtra so that Bengal can take a back seat. Isn't this a distraction as well? Listen in.
Supreme Court did not say that police did not protect Arjikar. They said police that day could not protect. Police, the fact comes out in the light that, and the incident, what happened at Arjikar, that police could not protect Arjikar that point of time. Yes, that's a fact. Who can deny that thing? So we are also not denying that fact.
आता जे वर्षाताई तू जो उल्लेख केलास बदलापूर मधली घटना संतापजनक आहे, अत्यंत विकृत, पण तिच्याकडे कानाडोळा करायचा. आणि बंगालमधल्या कृत्याचं मी समर्थन करणार नाही. देशाच्या नव्हे जगाच्या कानाकोपऱ्यात जिथे जिथे महिलेवरती अत्याचार होईल तिचा निषेध नव्हे, त्या गुन्हेगारांना उलटे टांगून पुन्हा सुलटे करून फाशी दिलं पाहिजे.
तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि अब इस पे बचाव की कोई गुंजाइश ममता बनर्जी जी के पास तो है ही नहीं. ना अखिलेश यादव जी से भी मैं सवाल पूछता हूं और राहुल गांधी जी और सोनिया गांधी जी से भी. क्यों? आप ही के वो वकील हैं ना, तो आज जाके उसका बचाव कर रहे हैं. इससे बहुत साफ है कि इनके मन में किस प्रकार की संवेदनहीनता है.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question we are asking on the news hour tonight is Nyay for Ladki a distraction for the India bloc? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Charu Pragya, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, Subhrashta, author, The Churn, Tausif Ahmed Khan, lawyer and political analyst, supports the Trinamool Congress, Mohammad Tariq Khan, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. But my first question goes to Dr. Sanjay Jha, author, suspended Congress leader. And Sanjay Jha, I don't know what to say tonight. There is Bengal and there is Badlapur. One incident of the east, one of the west. In one case, a 31-year-old young upcoming doctor, trainee doctor. On the other side, 2 children, 3 years and 4 years old. It's a society that's, I don't know, witnessing the horrors that probably should have been spared in this day and age. But no, we're watching this. But any questions raised about one incident don't seem to find that kind of traction from the alliance of the India parties. But on the other, there is outrage. Outrage on Badlapur, totally justified. Please don't get me wrong, totally justified. Because we're talking about 2 babies here. But if questions are asked on Bengal after a perfunctory tweet that Rahul Gandhi put out 5 days after the Gori incident, now any questions become a distraction? Is that what the Beti of Bengal and questions on her brutal death will now be called a distraction, Sanjay Jha?
Navika, we are discussing a very serious subject of the kind of sexual horrors that are being perpetrated on women across the country. You talk about Kolkata, we all know about it. We know about Badlapur. I live here in Mumbai, Maharashtra. It is sickening, right? It tells you about the kind of vulgar misogyny, the patriarchal systems that prevail in our country. There's no running away from that reality. This has to be a bipartisan conversation. This cannot be, for heaven's sake, about trying to target Rahul Gandhi. I can make a bigger statement on your program today that the ultimate dog whistle politics, which has been done on women's security in this country or respect for them, has happened in the case of Vinesh Phogat. Imagine how many men in this country would have felt so inspired when they saw championed women wrestlers of the fight for our honor, begging for justice on the streets of Delhi for months, when a sexual predator happened to be from the ruling party and the government kept quiet. You think that is not dog whistle? You think the political system of the ruling party can walk away from this? I can tell you about Manipur, but I'm not going to do that because this is beyond that, Navika. You know, as we talk, I did my research before this program. There's been horrific attack on a Dalit girl in Muzaffarpur in Bihar. Uttar Pradesh, legendary. Maharashtra we're talking about, by the way, there's an incident in Haryana. A doctor assaulting a medical student. 4 of them are BJP ruled states. But this is not a BJP versus Congress or a Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi. This is about the sick mindset in our society. And I think we have failed them. Let's agree to that. And I therefore feel, Navika, that on Kolkata, and I'm saying so here, I'm part of the India Alliance supporters. And I believe the India Alliance, actually, if you want me to make a political statement to your question, India Alliance has been extremely unambiguous in its statement that what happened in Kolkata is disgusting, sickening, and it's a failure of the administration. I want to share something with you. Actually, you're saying that Rahul Gandhi did not say enough. I spoke to somebody very senior in the team yesterday, and they told me that Rahul Gandhi was extremely vocal. We wish he was a lot more nuanced. So that is the truth. And I have Rahul's tweet here. You called it perfunctory, Navika. Allow me to actually disagree with you today. We mostly agree on many issues. This is Rahul Gandhi's tweet. The entire country is shocked by the gruesome incident of rape and murder of a junior doctor in Kolkata. The way the layers of the cruel and inhuman act against her are being revealed, there is an atmosphere of insecurity among the doctors' community and women. He's critical of an alliance partner in West Bengal. The attempt to save the accused instead of providing justice to the victim raises serious questions on the hospital and the local administration. I think he's been extremely explicit, critical, and why not? He should be, he has been, and I think we need to go beyond wearing any partisan lens at this point of time. That's my humble request to every other fellow panelist.
Okay, I won't nitpick, but the omissions probably that you missed out is he doesn't name Mamata Banerjee. Omissions that you possibly miss out is that there is an equation that is created between Hathras, Unnao, Kathua, Kolkata. But matter of detail, nitpicking. Charu Pragya, what do you think? Badlapur needs answers or Bengal? Why is there politics? And I want to ask you tonight, are politicians missing the fact that people are disgusted in the manner in which the system works? For 13 hours in Badlapur, an FIR is not registered. In 13 hours. And we're talking about 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds here. 13 hours, a FIR is not registered for 5 days till people get onto the tracks. Railway tracks, no action is taken against those police, officials who were supposed to actually file that FIR. Why are we paying our taxes? whether in Kolkata or in Maharashtra or anywhere else in the country, why are normal citizens paying their taxes if the system is so broken?
Good evening, Navika. I don't think the gravity of a horrific crime changes because of its geographical location. Badlapur was as terrible as Bengal was. And there is no drawing comparisons between the two. Both of them are heartbreaking, shameful for us as a society. But what is different is the response of the ruling dispensation, and we cannot pretend that there is not this ocean of difference between both the responses. Please allow me to go over this. Here we have the principal, the teacher, the attendant suspended. In Kolkata, the principal is transferred to another college, but with a lot of pomp and show. Here we have a police department where the chief is ushered out of the district. But in Kolkata, the ACP dares to call it a suicide without even trying to find out what happened. They call it an unnatural death when it's a clear case of murder after a gang rape. Gang rape. I'm stressing on the word gang rape, which means there were more than one perpetrator. There was more than one accused. After 11 days, have you even heard of a second name? Have we heard of any kind of a movement which tries to find out what the second name could be? No. Instead, there is vandalism. Instead of sealing of the crime scene, there is renovations going on. Instead of handing over the body of the victim to her parents, there is a rush to cremate her. Why does all this happen? Why is the Mamata Banerjee government trying to delay transferring the case to CBI? What kind of evidence are you trying to wipe out? And I am asking this specifically. Please tell me, what evidence are you trying to wipe out? Because you're only delaying investigation. If you look at the state of this doctor, I can't even describe it. There were nail marks on her face. She did her best to fight back. There were 16 external injuries, 9 internal injuries. And she lost her life in that struggle. What do we get in return? We get a dispensation which says it was irresponsible for her to be alone. We get a dispensation where Minister Guha of TMC openly declares that if you point fingers at this incident, we are going to break your hands. Was there any kind of action taken against this minister? Everybody from the TMC comes and wants to defend this particular situation. But the health minister is Mamata Banerjee. The home minister is Mamata Banerjee. She wants to take to the streets instead of showing some kind of responsibility. That's not the case in Maharashtra, Navika. That's definitely not the case in Maharashtra.
Tausif Khan, Gori, Badlapur and Bengal, but responses are different, is what Charu Pragya says. Please respond to her. And today, the ASI seems to be running away when the CBI summons him. Clearly, if Sanjay Roy was sharing a room with him, then he had free access to RJ Kar Medical College any time of the day and night. Not something that the Kolkata police could find out in time, in the 4 days before the matter was transferred to the CBI. Tausif Khan, an SIT established today to look into the misdemeanors, financial misdemeanors of Sandeep Ghosh today. Oh my God, that's really early. There are so many complaints against him in the past, but he was getting one posting after the other. He resigned from RG Kar and he was placed in a national medical college as principal within 4 hours. It was the Kolkata High Court that had stepped in. Today you find time to file an FIR and establish an SIT to look into his affairs, Tausif Khan, and you want the country to believe that it's a fair and square investigation?
Navika, I don't hold brief for Sandeep Ghosh, the principal of RG Kar Hospital, and nor am I here to defend him. The Kolkata police had got only 2.5 days, after which the investigation was handed over to CBI. It is for CBI now to find out what was his involvement and what was his part in the dereliction of the duty. So far, the rape and murder of the doctor in RG Kar Hospital is concerned. But today, the BJP is so disappointed that did not get anything, any material from the Supreme Court to help them topple the Mamata Banerjee government. They can go on, continue and attack Mamata Banerjee. But today, the bigger picture in front of us is where have we reached as a society. Please do not interrupt me. Please do not interrupt me. Do not interrupt me.
Complete his point. I'll give you time to counter. I'll give you time to counter. Allow him to complete, please.
Do not interrupt me.
Yes, Tosi.
You see today the real, Navika, today the real picture, the bigger picture that is before us is where we have reached as a society and what can we do as a society to bring reform and identify and eliminate these perverts who are there in Kolkata, in RG Medical Hospital, who are there in Badlapur, who sexually assaulted 3 and 4 years old girl. Where have we reached as a society? What reforms do we need to bring?
So now we will lament the society. Now we will lament the society. We did not lament the society in Hathras, Unnao. There we were fair and square attacking the BJP sarkars there. But, you know, selectivism is only allowed to politicians, certainly not to us. Anand Ranganathan, do you think there is selectivism in looking at these incidents, or rather these gory developments that have just unfolded and they refuse to die down? You know, every day you're getting something from one part of the country or the other where the system fails us. What are we as a country of citizens who do everything, fulfill all our duties? What are we supposed to do? Just watch this debate, you know, where one party says something, the other party says it's a distraction, and just the tutu meme goes on forever, unending?
Good evening, Navika, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Thank you for having this very important debate. At the outset, let me agree with you and share your views and lament that the citizens, we the people, the taxpayers, unfortunately, it's out of our hands now. That's the honest truth. Let me quote Professor Kunal Sarkar, his statement, for which he was cruelly summoned by the Kolkata police to appear at a police station. What he said is so prescient and so relevant right now. Let me quote him verbatim. He said, "Human perversion cannot be prevented." And he's absolutely right. You cannot prevent humans who are perverse and who will commit these heinous crimes one way or the other. You can't prevent it. But what can be prevented is the apathy of the administration, of the police, of the legislature, of the executive, of the judiciary. And what he said was that 2 rapes were committed in Kolkata that day. One was done by an act of human perversion, and the other was done by the administration and the police, and he was hauled up to police station for that. Let me explain what he means by that. Whether it be Badlapur, whether it be Kolkata, you cannot prevent human perversion. He is absolutely right about it. But the second aspect, which no one is talking about, which politicians never talk about themselves, is the shameless police and administrative apathy. In Badlapur, the crime, the sexual assault took place on those 3 and 4-year-old on 12th of August. Navika, the FIR was registered on the 16th of August. After 4 days. I can't get my head around it. What is this country? In Kolkata, the crime happened, and today's shocking revelations, let me go through them. Just give me 30 seconds. People aren't talking about this. Justice Pardiwala asked the Bengal Council, Mr. Sibbal, who was the first informant? Who filed the FIR in this case? You know what the reply was? It was the father of the murdered and raped doctor who was the first informant and filed the FIR. It was not the principal, Navika. It was not the principal. The FIR was filed by the father at 11:45 p.m. 10 hours after the autopsy had finished. 3 hours after the cremation was done. This is the country we are living in. So Professor Kunal Sarkar, you might be appearing before the police station, you might be hauled up, you might be jailed, but what you said, I salute you for saying what you said, that human perversion cannot be prevented.
But can also the political, administrative, judicial perversion not be prevented? I'm afraid it cannot be, Navika. This is the state of country it is in present.
Hands going up. Sanjay Jha, you wanted to come in, and Charu Pragya. I'm coming to you, Subrashta ji, but Sanjay Jha first.
You know, Navika, I continue to believe that this is a discussion that we should have, and we all need to rise above our petty parochial points. I want to make a point here for your benefit. We are talking about West Bengal, where I think what has happened is going to make this entire country, all of us, hang our heads in shame. There is one thing that surprisingly has not really been debated enough. Do we know that the West Bengal governor had a sexual harassment charge against her? I want to ask, what kind of politics do we have in this country that a constitutional position having such a grave charge continue to be there? And the victim has to go to the Supreme Court. Why can't a suo motu action have been taken by the ruling establishment recommending the dismissal of the governor, or at least removing him from the post till an impartial inquiry happened? So, you know, end of day, this has become an extremely tragic, I would say, situation. And, you know, Navika, when 86 rapes happen a day, and these are reported rapes, we don't even know how many are reported. If you take
that number is 11.
Average,
that number is 11 reported rapes per day, not 6.
Yeah.
It's double that number.
Yeah. So if you're looking at those numbers, you know, as a society, and I'm going to tell everybody who's watching your very well-watched program, we can't, as citizens of this country, and I'm assuming everybody on this panel today is more a citizen than a politician, we cannot just rise periodically when some case is very, very disturbing. I mean, we have to protest about this day in and day out.
The issue of the Bengal governor, Charu Pragya, you want to respond?
No, I do want to respond. And I am glad Mr. Jha agrees that this is about citizens discussing the plight of women and justice given to them after something horrific happens. Mr. Jha, may I please request you to reach out to your former party, the Congress, and tell Alka Lamba if she is taking a delegation to Badlapur, can she take one to Kolkata as well? Can I please request you to talk to a person who describes himself as a senior politician, who's a member of the Rajya Sabha, from the Congress party? He's happy to defend RG Kar Hospital after a situation like this. I think if you're really here as a citizen, take note of this and speak to your former party. Speak to Rahul Gandhi. Tell him why is it that discussing the rape in Kolkata is a distraction. Tell Alka Lamba that if she's concerned about the plight of girls and children in one city, she should be equally concerned about what happened to the girl in RG Kar College in Kolkata, not just that night.
Subrashta, can we take away the selectivism of the approach? I mean, on one fine day when we hear these kind of things, we all come out and we begin to say there should be no politics. But have we seen a situation where there is no politics? When such incidents come in, do you not see the difference on either side? If it is an alliance party of the India alliance, it will be the BJP which will be up in arms. If it is a state ruled by the BJP and its alliance partners, it will be the India alliance that will be up in arms. And that's the way the country is divided. The daughters are differentiated.
Absolutely, Navika ji. It's not only unfortunate, it's also a matter of fact that nobody in this country will raise, no political party in this country will raise the issue of gender and gender-based violence in a non-partisan way. This is a reality we have to live with, and we also have to live with the conclusion, therefore, that there's very little hope from politics in this country to correct anything with respect to gender-related violence. Now, with respect to West Bengal or Badlapur today, let's remember one thing. In one case, there has been a massive cover-up, while in the other, citizens are out on the streets, and immediately the media has responded as it should, and we are having a discussion about it. Please understand the difference. Law and order is a state subject. What has happened to that girl, that 31-year-old girl, young professional doctor, is beyond imagination in terms of barbarity. To be able to compare her to Vinesh Fogart is another, and let me use Rahul Gandhi's phrase, distraction from taking away the limelight where it should be, that is on the extreme apathy of the political class with respect to any accountability that they must take if they are in power and if something goes wrong with law and order. You know, your channel has reported quite extensively on serial lapses with respect to what happened that day with that young girl. And let me tell you, Navika ji, it really pains my heart as a 36-year-old woman that 3 generations of dreams have been sacrificed because of that gruesome, barbaric incident that has happened. Let's pause and please not equate it with any other case in the country than Nirbhaya that happened, in 2016. It is similar to that. Let us not take away the import. I'm not trying to grade violence here, but let me also tell you that none of these politicians today who are taking a moral high ground to say, let us not do politics over it, they are never going to come out and say that we will not associate with any member and will not make them a part of our party if they have sexual harassment charges against them. Can Sanjay Jha or can Tausif or can Charu Pragya or anyone for that matter take responsibility from them, because they're all party spokespersons at the end of the day? Can they come out and say we will not give tickets to anyone who has sexual harassment charges against them?
Nahi hoga. It hasn't happened so far. There have been n number of Supreme Court judgments on this, but parties will not take, because they have a very great defense in their hand, which is these are politically motivated charges, and therefore let the law take its own course. And that's a line that I've come to hate, because it just tries to look away from the incident, from the questions that are facing people. But that's the point. The point is, who is at the receiving end? The citizens of this country and Tariq Khan? Who's on the end of making the politics? It's the politicians. Because Hathras mein to hum jayenge aur jana chahiye. वहां पर हमें कैंडल लाइट मार्च भी करना चाहिए, उन्नाव भी जाना चाहिए, कठुआ भी जाना चाहिए. ऑफ कोर्स वी मस्ट रेज आवर वॉइसेस. बट बंगाल हम नहीं जाएंगे, बंगाल पर सवाल नहीं उठाएंगे, बदलापुर पर उठाएंगे. दैट इज द सिलेक्टिविज्म दैट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. When you raise Badlapur, please do by all means. I'm as outraged as you are. But then please don't forget Bengal. Why do political parties like yours forget Bengal? Why does Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav say, वो तो महिला हैं, मुख्यमंत्री हैं, वो सब देख लेंगी? तो वहां पर भी मुख्यमंत्री हैं, सब देख लेंगे. तो काहे को लोग बाहर निकल रहे हैं सड़कों पर, रेलवे ट्रैक्स पर?
वो महिला है, इसमें तो कोई डाउट नहीं है. और अखिलेश जी said that she'll look into that matter, and means it's really a sad day what happened in Maharashtra. Our party really feels sad about it. Every party has shown that their part, that they are not guilty in something what has happened in Maharashtra. BJP tries to shield on that part, but it's okay, it's all right. But what my point of view is that all the parties, this is my humble request, not as a spokesperson, that at least when it comes to the harassment or any type of rape, to any type of assault or rape towards female or our sister, we should stand all together. This is my simple humble request. We shouldn't come and shield like BJP spokesperson in half of her speech. What she said, she just tried to shield Maharashtra government that yes, after not doing anything for days.
Maharashtra government.
Please.
Mr. Khan, when did it shield Maharashtra government? Maharashtra government itself is not shielding itself. The chief minister is taking responsibility, taking action. Can you say the same of Mamata Banerjee? No, do not quote words and attribute to me when I have not said them. Please correct yourself.
Let me go ahead.
Please correct yourself.
Let me go
Please
ahead.
Please go ahead after you correct yourself.
I'm going, I step forward. Okay, you are in central government.
Correct
BJP
yourself and step forward.
Let me explain my things. This is not fair, ma'am. Ma'am,
no, don't attribute your statements to me, please, Mr.
Okay, please, ma'am. Let me speak. Okay, my time. I'll give you my time. Okay, speak up, ma'am. Please let me speak. What I am trying to say is this: that BJP is in power in central government. What you are looking into You have powers in your hand. There is problem in 2 states. Go ahead and take action. Who is stopping you? Who stopped you to take action against Muzaffarpur, what happened in Bihar, against West Bengal, against Maharashtra? Who is stopping you? You can use any type of power, all the things which have been used in past.
But action has been taken, Tariq Khan. Action has been taken. If you're looking at action, then yes, there was a delay in filing the FIR, but the arrest has been made. The principal has been removed. I completely stand with you when I say that it's too little, too late. But the fact of the matter is, Badlapur, you can see the lapses, but you can't see the lapses of Bengal. And that is where I come in. And Anand Ranganathan, it is this that really bothers me. Why are we dividing the citizens? Political parties are divided. It's okay with us. We're used to it. But why are you dividing the citizens? Why is a beti of east of India treated differently from a beti in the west of India? Why are these walls being created? Why do we suddenly become philosophical that we should all come together when it is, an opposition-ruled state? But we all go down and sit there, politicize, and we say, candle march here and kaun rok sakta hai humko, hum to wahan jayenge. All that politics happens when it is against a BJP-ruled state. That is the question. And what about the so-called liberals? The so-called liberals who haven't raised their voice against the attack on freedom of speech, because some of those liberals have gone on social media and identified the victim. People who should know the law of the land, the guidelines of the Supreme Court, have gone and identified the victim. What happened to their sensitivity? They're very keen to give lessons to those who forget it on other times. But today, when they err on the side of breaking the law, no action against them?
No, absolutely, Navika. As I said, thank you for airing your views, because it's just helplessness what ordinary citizens feels today. What can be done? I'm afraid there's not much that we as citizens can do, because, to be honest with you, 35,000 rapes take place in this country every year. And nobody can say that one such rape is more heinous than the other. All 35,000 rapes are as heinous as there can be. But the fact of the matter is, you will always see political parties cite instances of rapes happening in the states that are not ruled by their party, or they are ruled by the opposition party. We've seen it even on this channel. Right now on this debate, when people are, narrating instances that have happened in one particular state ruled by a particular party and ignoring what the other. For example, the TMC minister has said, I will break the fingers of anyone who blames Didi. This is a sitting minister of TMC saying it.
And no action. Tausif Khan, no action against him. No action. There are other TMC leaders who come out and say women are protesting because they want to go out with their boyfriends. Tausif Khan, what kind of statements are these?
Navika, Mamata Banerjee, the chief minister, the home minister, has herself said right from the first day when the Arjikar incident took place, that she stands with the protesters, that the protests are justified, that the anger of the people are justified, and she stands with the family member. She has never said a single word against the protesters. She has never
her ministers can speak. Udayan Guha can speak. I stand in protest against myself. So Anand Ranganathan, आपको ज़हमत लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. मैं अपने खिलाफ खुद ही protest कर रही हूँ. So you can relax.
No, I'm sorry. The Honorable Chief Minister doesn't get a clean chit so easily. She is also the health minister. Today it transpires the Supreme Court that it was the father of the deceased who filed the FIR. The principal did not file the FIR. That same principal, Mamata Banerjee, transferred and made him a principal of one of the most prestigious colleges of India, Calcutta National Medical College. Tausif bhai, how can you explain that? Forget about TMC ministers.
Well,
and He was removed as a principal
clean
only because the High Court...
clean chits will come,
I completely
selectivity
agree.
will come,
agree that the
philosophy
principal should have been
will
suspended
come,
and not reinstated.
but it comes at its own convenience. In the meanwhile, please be ready, because daughters of India will be divided in different parts, depending on the state they are, depending on the party that's ruling it. Distractions will be decided on the basis of whether it's convenient to raise issue or not. Even protest delegations will go only to states where it's convenient, where it's not convenient, they will not go. Well, that's the India we are in. And for you and me as citizens, well, continue to pay your taxes, but the system will not work for you. Whichever government it is, whichever state it is. It doesn't matter if it is the ruling party at the center or it is an opposition party in a state. The system will let down citizens, but politics will have a great time. Well, that's the India we live in. Sometimes cynicism and a complete sense of despondency is what detends on me. But this despondency will have to be fought, because we are not going to take it lying down as citizens. Woman is not an abla. She is Shakti, whether she is in Bengal or whether she is in Maharashtra. And Shakti is what we will fight with. We leave it at that for tonight. Thank you very much to all my guests for joining me on panel number 1.